So it's date night, and that basically just means we're gonna make a few things that look really good. So we made some stuffed focaccia bread, we made some little chicken bites and some stuff to dip in them, and we made a manicotti. So yeah, please enjoy the rest of the video. So we're gonna start by making the stuffed focaccia bread. We're gonna make the dough by pouring about 300 grams of flour in, a big spoonful of yeast, some salt, and mixing that around. Hopefully I put a recipe in the description, so follow that for the exact measurements, but then I put in some water, and then we're gonna mix that around, add a little more water if you need to, but keep mixing. And then once all the flour is hydrated, you're gonna just wrap the thing up and let it rest for 10 minutes. Then we're gonna start doing some stretch and folds. The process of stretch and folding is so you don't really have to do as much work kneading. So every 10 minutes we wet our hands, stretch the dough out, fold it over, stretch it out, fold it over, and yeah, cover that, wait 10 minutes, and repeat the process again. I normally do this process about 3 times. Yeah, it just makes your life easier. So now that you're done kneading, we're gonna rest for a full hour. And now we've got this big jiggly thing of dough. The dough we made was really wet, and that was on purpose. We're gonna put in some oil into our pan and put the dough down. We are then gonna push the dough out and try to get it into all the corners. After we do that, we are gonna put in some pesto and some chunks of mozzarella cheese, and then we're gonna fold it over on itself just by kind of grabbing the edges, stretching and folding it over. After that, we're gonna kind of try to push it out to the edges again. Once we do that, we're gonna do one more layer of pesto and mozzarella. So this is gonna be really good. You know, once we bake it, we're gonna kind of cut it open, and it's gonna be full of cheese and pesto, and it's gonna taste really good. Put a little more oil on top because focaccia bread, you need a lot of olive oil. We're gonna let it rest another 5-10 minutes just so it's easier to push it further into the edges. Once we push it into the edges, we're gonna start preheating our oven and cover it up. And then once the oven's preheated, we put some salt, pepper on top. That'll make it taste good. And then we pop it in the oven. Hopefully on screen or in the description, I put the oven temperature because I forgot what I put it at. But we bake it for some amount of time, just until the top looks brown. Hopefully I'll put a time for that down too. And yeah, we let it rest a little bit, cut it open, and there's cheese and pesto on the inside, and it's really fluffy, and it tastes really good. So yeah. So now we're gonna make some garlic parm chicken bites. We're gonna start by marinating the chicken. Squeeze out half a lemon, take out the seeds, put in some chunks of chicken, salt, some pepper, and some heavy cream. The lemon juice and the cream will make this marinade, make the chicken really tender. Now we're gonna make the dipping sauce, squeeze in the other half of a lemon, and then we're gonna take out the seeds. Next, we're gonna crack in an egg. We're kinda gonna go for a mayo type dipping sauce, but a lot thinner. I'm gonna put in some black pepper and some salt, and then we're gonna take out the immersion blender and start blending it. Once it's mostly blended, while we're blending, I'm gonna stream in some oil. This is kind of what you do when you make a mayo, but I'm gonna use less oil. Also, I forgot to add garlic. Garlic will make the emulsion better and will make this taste better. So blend a little more and then add a little more oil. Like I said, I'm using less oil because I want this to be thinner than a mayo, but kind of similar flavors for the dipping sauce. Now we're gonna bread our chicken. Take some flour, salt, black pepper, red pepper flakes, onion powder, Italian seasoning, and some garlic powder, and mix it all together. And I'm just gonna dump that on the chicken. Definitely not the best way to do it, but I didn't want to dirty another bowl. And then oil the chicken, mix it all up, And then I'm just gonna put these in the air fryer. As you can see, I didn't do the best job, but there will be little crispy bits. So now we're gonna make the garlic parm sauce with red pepper flakes, parsley, Italian seasoning, oh god, garlic, Parmesan cheese, a lot of olive oil, and then when the chicken's like half cooked, we are gonna mix it in this. And then we're gonna put it back in the air fryer to kind of get the cheese and the garlic to cook onto the chicken. Cook it a little longer in the air fryer, and you got these crispy bits of chicken. We're dipping them in the dipping sauce in our lovely plastic deli container. And yeah, it was really good. The chicken, even though I probably cooked it really long, wasn't overcooked because of the marinade. But yeah, crispy on the outside, moist on the inside, and the sauce was kind of perfect. Now it's time to make the manicotti. We're gonna start by making a simple pasta sauce. Heat some olive oil in a pot, put in half an onion, shitload of garlic, because I really like garlic, and cook it till it's like mostly cooked. Put in some red pepper flakes, and we're gonna pour in a can of tomato sauce and put in some basil leaves. I'm gonna roll them up and rip them to help the basil flavors go into the sauce. It does something, I forget how it works, but it does something. Now we're gonna make the manicotti filling. I'm gonna take a bunch of fresh parsley, wash it, and cut it up really tiny. Then I'll put a big old thing of regatta and an egg, and then a bunch of the parsley. And now I'm gonna grate in a lot of Parmesan cheese, like a really good amount, and some black pepper and a pinch of salt. And then I'm gonna mix it all up. This is what we're gonna stuff the manicotti shells with. And yeah, so mix it up and it looks good. I don't know why I put an egg in it, but it's always what my mom did, so I'm gonna put an egg in it. So now the sauce has been simmering for a bit. The longer a sauce simmers, the better it tastes, and that's a fact. I fully intended on adding heavy cream to this the entire time to make it more of a vodka sauce. It's gonna taste way better. And to be completely honest, the only reason I marinated the chicken in the heavy cream was because I had the heavy cream for this step. So now I'm gonna put down the sauce into a pan. This layer of sauce kind of helps the pasta not stick to the pan when we bake this. And now we're gonna stuff the manicotti shells. I'm gonna use a butter knife and just kind of put it in there. I've seen people use piping bags before. That's a thing you can do too. But yeah, once it's mostly full and you're happy with how you stuffed it, we're then gonna move it on over to the sheet tray. And we are gonna repeat this step for all of the shells. Now we're gonna pour a bunch of sauce over the top of all of our manicotti now that we filled the tray. And yeah, it's gonna look great. I'm very excited to eat this. Spread the sauce around, and then we are gonna cover the top in a bunch of cheese. It looks like I'm starting with a good amount of mozzarella. Now I'm doing a bunch of Parmesan, and it looks like a lot of Parmesan. And then I baked it for some amount of time, poked it with a knife to see if the pasta was fully cooked, poked it with my finger, and yeah, it is time to eat it. Look at that. It's amazing. It tastes great. It's kind of a pain in the ass to eat, but I don't care. It's all going in the same place. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching me make all three of these foods. All three of them tasted good for our little date night. And yeah, thank you for watching the video.